I feel like a little bit like a beautiful mind. My notes are getting smaller and a little crazier. So I apologize if I sound a little schizophrenic. So our last presentation before lunch is being delivered by Susanne Richter-Wills, the Vice President of Partnerships in EMEA for ScaleHub. She's an expert in business process outsourcing, intelligent document processing, and automation. So this is a digital session, clearly. She has more than two decades of experience in senior management roles for either BPOs like Xerox, Renus Office Systems, and also IDP software companies like Kofax and Abby. In her role currently, she helps enterprises, BPOs, and SSE solve their automation and sourcing challenges with ScaleHub's managed crowdsourcing solutions. So the combination of artificial and human intelligence delivers faster and better data processing with extreme accuracy. So Susanne, the floor is yours, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maura. So I'm back on the podium, so hopefully you can see me. I'm trying to be on my toes a little bit. So I have 3 responsibilities, I've been told, to show you that AI is real and makes an impact for impact sourcing, one challenge. The second challenge, I have to give you a code for the gamification in the app. And the third one, I not have to make you late for lunch. That's probably the biggest challenge. But let's start. Let's start maybe with the simplest ones. I can give you the code for the games, because I know some of you are eager to get your position on the leaderboard. It's artificial intelligence, all one word. If you can spell it, that's right. Okay. So what we're going to cover today is I'm going to look at impact sourcing or inclusive sourcing or social responsible sourcing, and in combination with AI. So we heard a lot about AI already. And this is really about how can this help you with the sourcing, making sourcing more inclusive and really bring talent of diverse skills, diverse location really into the business. And can that work? Can that be happening? So I'm looking at why do we need to do it a little bit? Then how does it come together? And then really draw upon some personal experiences, because I always believe making it real, right? So really talking about a real life example that we're working with at the moment to show you what the challenges were to be more inclusive and how AI is really helping them doing that. So hopefully your offices don't look like that, but we have heard already talent shortage is real. So some studies recently suggest that the talent shortage is easing. I don't know about you, but I don't see that in practice so much. We also hear that AI is that big savior, so we don't need the talent anymore because ChatGPT is going to do it all for us in the future, right? So why do we even talk about that? Well, because we still need humans in the loop somewhere, and of course the talent shortage is real and reaches many industry sectors and across the globe. We also know that in the IT and data-related roles, that's usually the area where we see most of the talent shortages, and that's what some of the studies also suggest to be real. So really, we're bringing it together. So bringing AI in is maybe one thing, but how do we get the people to bring AI in the first place? At the same time, and we have many experts in the room here today, we also know that the talent is out there. So it could be out there in the form of different locations that may be way out, and people are maybe even displaced people somewhere, displaced talent that we want to get a hold of. It can also be in the area of ability. So I've given an example here of Germany. That's where I'm come from. So just in case you wonder where my accent is from, it's a bit mixed accent. So mostly German, a bit of British in there, but that's where it's coming from. But in Germany, we have one challenge also when it comes to ability gap. So we have a highly educated, disabled workforce, but it's hardly utilized. So, and in Germany, if you hear about that, we are the one country, by the way, I don't know whether the lady from Mars or there you are. We don't have any mask products at the moment. You're aware of that, are you? Mm-hmm. At the moment, you cut us off. And especially the pets are very upset because they don't have their pet, the pet foods are not available anymore. No Wrigley's, no Mars bars. So we are, You look it up. I count on you to solve that for us. No, but next to Ebony Wrigley's and Mars bar problem, we have an issue with inclusivity, right? So this is one area where we are really looking at what can we do about that. So when I talk about impact sourcing, I just want to make sure, what do I mean by that? I'm not meaning impact sourcing as the original way of thinking, you know, BPO maybe who offer workforces in remote countries, but I talk about more inclusive, really the ability, the diversity that can be an internal sourcing challenge, can be an outsourcing partnership challenge, right? And so what I want to do really is to bring that together with AI. So how can we bring this real workforces available out there into the work environment by utilizing AI a little bit different? And by doing that, I want to start off with the barriers. So why are we not more inclusive in our sourcing very often? So the one challenge is matching the task to ability. So the ability differences are real. It could be a language barrier. It could be some more than that, but sometimes a task has to be tailored in a different way to make it more inclusive. So it's a real barrier that exists. The other one is connectivity. If you go towards remote locations, if we go towards home working, I mean, we all had experience of that recently in the pandemic recently, well, it's the last 3 years, then we know it's quite real that connectivity can be an issue if you're in areas of low bandwidth. You don't have to go too far. If you're in Europe, for example, you see a lot of people exiting shared service centers in Scotland. They want to go home to the Highlands, and Highlands connectivity, because that would be a challenge. So you got low bandwidth, and so you have connectivity challenges. But the biggest one we always see in our experience is the last one, that's data security. So when you talk about an outsourcing partner in the impact sourcing arena, you're talking about people working from home or being engaged in a different way than normal. Data security is the forefront of thinking, and it's real. So, you know, personally living in the GDPR region, yeah, everything is GDPR, and then always comes back to this. So how can it be secure? And that always makes a stop to most of things. So this is the kind of challenges we see, and really, what can we do about that to make it more? So what do we need AI to do to help us to overcome that and make it more inclusive? So the one area that AI can help and should be able to help, and hopefully can help, is to be able to connect any location, any device, and especially any device. Yeah, so we cannot expect that people are out there connected with the newest laptop and the largest network. So the smartphones are everywhere, as we know. And so how can we make the difficult tasks that we sometimes have to do available on those? Again, tailoring the task to an individual ability. This is something we can achieve with AI. Let's have a look at that. And then, of course, securing the data access. So these are the challenges to be addressed with AI. AI, as I said before, is seen as this is the future of everything. So AI is going to automate, it's going to make the straight-through processing right, and really reduce the need of that talent, that gap closure. But we also, I think many of you probably have your first experience with AI. It's improving constantly, but it's certainly not a one-stop solution. The same as RPA wasn't. You know, we were sitting here, I think 5 years ago probably, and talk about RPA and the promises, and we all had this different hopes, and it helped us a lot, but it certainly has not resolved everything that we wanted to solve with that. So AI is the same. So what can you be doing? So AI is a great enabler, and bringing AI and HI, so human intelligence, together is certainly the way to go. And there's a word for that even. It's called collective intelligence. And collective intelligence is about making the two of them, make 1 + 1 = 3, right? Making it the AI and the HI combined deliver something more than one or the other can deliver on its own. And this is really the essence of how AI can help with its inclusive or impact sourcing challenges. So how so? Just some examples. I bring that to life with one real life example after that. The one way of using AI in some of the areas that we talk about here, business process outsourcing, to enable inclusivity is by microtasking. So you hear microtasking maybe in different aspects. And when you talk about collective intelligence or outsourcing as well. So what does this mean? So the AI is responsible for breaking tasks apart and therefore making an individual task suit an individual's ability. So the intelligence of the complexity of a task remains in the AI, and the individual there has a job to do that really gets the most out of their potential, of their ability. It also increases the security by doing so. Because you think about a person then has a part of a task that's very complex, can do that quickly, and can do it to their really fast ability, but the actual complexity behind that of the combination of the task to being the complete answer is something that's in the AI and therefore in a secure environment. And that's enabling, for example, the security aspect of it and making it possible to bring out more tasks to a wider workforce in different locations. So an example we have, for example, we're doing a lot of this microtasking approach in the healthcare industry, where we're engaging really not just remote talent, but really international talent with tasks where you usually would think that's not possible. So really you're being at home on your mobile device, working on a patient file, shouldn't be possible, right? But it is possible if you took, if the AI is behind your firewall and helping you to make a task in such a way that what you see and what you do is giving you a part of a puzzle, but it's not protecting the entire picture of it. So it's making you able to make the tasks individualized, but also making it adaptive. So you can actually utilize the AI also to ensure you're supporting the task, not only distribution, but also the enablement of it. So gamification is coming into it here. So AI can help you to really speed up the training with games, in a sense of ensuring that your task, again, by being broken down, is enabled to be learned much quicker and more effectively. And you can utilize the feedback you get from those kind of games in order to then optimize your process thereafter. So it enables overall more inclusive working by being individualized, securer. It can be faster because you can make parallel tasks and then therefore can utilize AI in a different way in that sense. So at the end of the day, you have puzzle pieces that you bring them together with the AI's help again. So AI will play a part in automating, of course, part of that. AI will be part of breaking it apart, distributing it, and bringing the whole together again with some statistics and analytics in order to ensure that you are then able to complete a task. So far the theory, right? You with me still? Yeah, here's some grumbling stomachs. So I'm speeding up. I promise you I'm not going to be long now. So as I said, we are just one word on who we are actually ScaleHub. So we have a portal. Now we don't like it. We like a platform, whatever to call it. So we've built a collective intelligence platform. So we are connecting, in the sense, that talent with the tasks and it's in AI enabled. So we are really in the middle of that and doing all those things. And we get approached by enterprises and outsourcing partners alike and impacting sourcing partners alike. And one of them that approached us is a company, organization called Connected Women out of the Philippines. Now, I know a lot of you work with Philippine talent, and we know there's a lot of talent out there that's very, very capable. But do you also know that there is a real serious issue of talent falling through the grate? And this has really been increased in the pandemic. So these are women. And these women are very often single mothers. They're ex-overseas Filipino workers, so OFWs. They are women who cannot actually go into a normal office because they have responsibilities. Could be their children, could be the rest of the family. It could be they have another job that doesn't allow them to actually go. The time is not there to actually go to an office. They are so remote in the Philippines that there is no shared service center organization around that. So there's around about up to 1 million of these women that's falling through the grate, and it's real talent available there. Because when they worked overseas, they were teachers, they worked in the medical industry, so they have real talent. And some of them don't. So if you talk to them about AI, you see real fear in their eyes because they don't know what it is. So Connected Women is gone out there to local organizations as well as international organizations to say, look, give these women a chance. And everybody said yes. And then the barriers came up again. So, they can't do it, the ability is not there. We can't make this secure if they're working from home. How on earth can we get the data there to them? They're kind of connected. the security is not given. And this is how we then approach them, or they approached us, and we come together. And so, well, we can do something here. We can help each other. So what did we do? We've helped to overcome those barriers. When we get to matching task abilities, we're using AI to create those microtasks I mentioned earlier. So we are reducing the complexity by doing so. So some of the women have used their ability maybe to correct some text, right? So some data correction text. Others do labeling. Some others do semantic work. And so the complexity is very varied by ability and how their training is being progressed. And we are able also the parallel working, so people, the women can support each other in a sense as well, and AI is controlling all of that. When it comes to connectivity, the AI that we are applying here and utilizing is really enabling work from any location and any device. And I'll show you some picture at the very end of the so the women how they really work at their homes. So this is something that AI can support. And it's not an infrastructure thing. It's more than that. It's really, again, it's this microtasking element of it to ensure AI can do that, to then help in the background to really ensure that the connectivity, even if it's broken off at some point, or the device normally would not be compatible to a task because of your old legacy systems, AI can support that and make it happen. And data security is implied by that. So the AI, in this sense, is creating snippets. So it's only showing parts maybe of a medical file, say. It scrambles data, it anonymizes data. And again, on any device in such a way that it cannot be descrambled locally. So the GDPR, whatever other compliancy can be adhered to. So you got 3 ticks there in the box that actually we were able to achieve together by applying this AI intelligence approach for the connected women. So when we work together now, it's a win-win partnership. So they have access, it's a cloud portal they have access to. There's a lot of different AI technology they are able to apply, so because they don't know from one day to the next what their customers may require from them. And we all know AI is expensive. And if you are an impact sourcing organization like them, you cannot just have your tool set of AI sitting around. Maybe you need it someday. So, a cloud approach, a secure cloud approach enables them here to actually have automation technology available to them when they need it and only as much as they need it, right? Then they have very simple integration options, because again, this is another thing, integrating with their end customer systems. We all know that can be a challenge. AI can support with that, and there's different wizard-like mechanisms that actually take the complexity away again. The microtasking, of course, they have this capability within their utilization of their platform. The UI is very intuitive, so it allows gamification, first of all, to train. So we talk about minutes in some cases of training somebody from zero on a task, but normally you would think that would take a few weeks to do because you're breaking it down before AI controls it. And the UI is very intuitive, so it actually adapts. So with the devices being utilized. What do we get out of it? We get out of it a really great talent pool that we can utilize. So we're working with many different partners around the world. We often get can we help with impact? Can maybe make a social impact with the partners that we're choosing? So this, of course, is one that we love to have. There's many other examples, working with many great organizations across the globe, right, wherever you want to call it. And what we also get out of, especially this partnership, is something that they start to specialize in, because as we are doing a training together, also the other thing that we're doing is they're helping to train AI as they get to know what AI actually is as part of the training program they're going through and their certification. And in reverse, we have created together quite a unique data labeling approach for training AI models that can take months of it. So it's a real win for both of us in that sense, and a partnership that we like a lot and we really have a lot of fun with. So this is the kind of statistics of what kind of lives have we actually impacted here and included in that sourcing with this partnership. So as you can see here, a lot of that is this full-time moms that cannot come to work in that sense. And other ones, a lot of big part is this displaced or former OFWs. But we also have, as you can see here, diverse ages, diverse ability of some other senses. So really to ensure that the inclusivity is given, and the training program that we have created together is actually enabling that. So there's a statement here from one of the ladies of a recent graduation part. So this is like a program when they're learning with games, but also on real life tasks, how to work that. So, you know, this special lady before didn't even know how to switch a laptop on. Honestly, it was that kind of situation. And so she's now really, she's data labeling expert, sentiment analysis, but she also learned a lot for her life, as she's saying here. And she's one of them. I'm not going to point out which one of them, but these are the ladies of some of the ladies and how they work. So you can see here the really diverse locations they work in, and the task that, you know, the challenge that's there to reach them in order to make it really inclusive for them to work on. So AI is enabling them. You see the third picture there? It's really a mobile device. So this lady is on that task. This picture was taken when she's supporting a smart city project for the Dutch government. So she's doing that on a mobile device out there in her, whatever, you know, I don't know the Philippines very well from a location wise, but she's quite a remote location in the Philippines. And but she's able to do that and impact the Dutch citizens' life in the way that she's doing it. And AI is supporting her by doing so. So only 1 minute over your designed lunch break time. So talent is available, talent is there, barriers to actually make it inclusive are real. Think about AI as an enabler, not a replacement, please. It's really enabling, it can enable now, but you can maybe think about it slightly different. But by doing so, you can really make some difference today, and it can automate, it can make you more efficient, and it can also help your retention and everything else within your workforce. And it can be really supportive in your sourcing strategies. Thank you very much. Time for one question too?
Feel free.
I do. Can you hear me now? This is working now. So I love the idea of how this kind of comes together from an AI perspective and microtasking. Can you help me understand how this would work in a ever-changing environment of process changes? I mean, I'm assuming this is very much processes set in stone, and therefore the folks can do the work. How do I think about this from the perspective of an ever-changing process design?
Good question. No, it's actually the other way around. So AI can be adaptive. So the AI adaptivity is one thing that's really coming to a forefront here. So it can learn. It's the learning mechanism of the AI of new environments. So when you actually tailor your process, you have your standard process as you know it, and suddenly this unknown thing comes in, and there AI can help to understand that. It can route it then to a human to make some adjustments, to teach, maybe to train the AI, and folds it back into the loop. So you very quickly get those exceptions actually into the norm. So AI can really support that. Too hungry. Oh, there's one more thing.
A quick question. So I love the work you've done with Connected Women. How are you addressing around the globe how we collect information on those that we impact through impact sourcing initiatives because of the regulations by country? And how do we get to that? Have you found anything to get to that information in a good way?
It's a good point, because there was something I used earlier around fair pay, right? So this is one thing, of course, also that's very important there. So what we have done, so we don't have a real solution. It's just making sure that within the portal, the platform that we have, we are collecting information. On the one hand, is ensuring that fair pay, right? So that really wherever the work is being done, that the local earning opportunity is above that minimum wage level, whatever to call it, that should be applicable. At the same time, there is a lot of intelligence within the platform being gathered about the workers as well, right? So, and this is something that is also very interactive with the workers themselves. So there's a lot around tailoring the task again to the ability. And also when it comes to security, avoiding fraud in a wider sense. So there's a lot of challenges out there, as you may know, especially when you go very remote. You talk about individuals working as well, like we do, then you have to also be very cautious about those bad ones out there. And so there's a lot AI support in all of that control, because otherwise yeah, that the GDPR, whatever compliance, yeah, is no longer there, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Some really great topics this morning. Our many thanks to the morning speakers to kick us off so thoughtfully and during a very complex time in outsourcing where partnerships trump relationships, culture counts, every day is an interview, and AI is the future of everything, right?